once you begin to genuinely trust in quantum energy, reality starts to unfold in ways that appear almost otherworldly. It is as though the universe waits for the moment you let go of resistance, and then reveals its hidden architecture through synchronicities and precise alignments. This is not about blind belief or fragile hope, but a cellular-level trust that changes how your energy field interacts with existence. You've likely noticed that when you relax fully, impossible things begin happening with uncanny timing. A phone call arrives just when you needed guidance, or a solution emerges before you even knew you had a problem. These are not coincidences in the trivial sense. They are the visible ripples of quantum intelligence responding to your inner state. Many try to experience this by pretending to trust, yet secretly watching and measuring whether it is working, and in doing so, they block the very flow they long for. Monitoring and doubting create static in the electromagnetic field, an interference pattern that prevents full resonance. But when you drop the need to control, when you surrender to the intelligence larger than your own, something magical happens. Reality itself begins to reorganize around your trust in ways logic cannot explain. Think about those moments when you let go completely, and something extraordinary unfolded with ease. Perhaps you stopped struggling with a decision, and suddenly the perfect answer arrived from a direction you had never considered. Maybe you released control in a relationship, and harmony blossomed where conflict had once reigned. These instances are glimpses of how quantum energy operates when allowed to flow unimpeded. Your personal effort, while valuable, is only the surface level of creation, the visible tip of an iceberg floating on a vast, unseen ocean. Beneath that ocean lies infinite intelligence, a field of probabilities collapsing into form in direct response to your trust. When you truly embody surrender, quantum energy is not forced to work around your doubts but is free to work through you. That is why the most astonishing manifestations do not arrive through strain but through alignment. The electromagnetic harmony of complete trust creates the perfect conditions for new realities to crystallize. What may appear as miracles are, in fact, the natural outcome of coherence between your inner state and the quantum field. As your trust deepens, you begin to see reality behave in increasingly unusual ways. Objects show up precisely when you need them, conversations contain the exact insight you were seeking, and people appear who seem divinely scripted to assist you. Time itself bends around your state of surrender, sometimes racing past in joyful hours that feel like minutes, other times expanding into moments so rich they feel like eternity. Physicists call this subjective time flow, the way consciousness can alter the texture of temporal experience. Your body, too, responds to these states. Chronic tensions dissolve without therapy, energy rises without supplements, and sleep becomes more restorative even when shorter. You start to feel as though your very biology is recalibrating, no longer driven solely by mechanical survival patterns but by the fluid principles of quantum harmony. In this state, insights arrive not as laborious thoughts, but as downloads fully formed understandings that feel like transmissions from a higher intelligence. Researchers describe this as non-local information, knowledge that transcends your accumulated learning and enters consciousness directly from the field. Animals and children perceive this shift even before you consciously recognize it. They are naturally drawn to your presence, sensing the coherence radiating from your electromagnetic field. You become, in effect, a walking transmission tower, broadcasting a vibration of harmony that sensitive beings immediately respond to. Dreams also transform in these states. They cease being random stories of the subconscious and begin functioning as communication channels through which guidance, solutions, and glimpses of future timelines arrive. What once seemed symbolic or chaotic now feels precise and instructive, as though another intelligence is speaking directly to your awareness. Even technology begins to respond differently. Devices malfunction less, mechanical problems resolve themselves, and systems that once resisted your efforts suddenly operate smoothly. This too can be understood as quantum entanglement, your coherent field influencing technological systems at subtle energetic levels. The most extraordinary effect of all is how quantum energy anticipates your needs before your conscious mind does. Resources begin arriving early, aligning themselves in advance of the challenges you are about to face. Opportunities present themselves before you realize why they matter, and only later do you recognize how perfectly timed they were. It feels as though the universe has not only heard you but is already 2 steps ahead, orchestrating outcomes with impeccable precision. This is not about superstition or wishful fantasy. It is about electromagnetic alignment creating a resonance that allows higher-order intelligence to flow into form. Trust, then, is not just a spiritual principle, but a scientific necessity for the quantum field to operate fully in your experience. The field does not need your effort, your tension, or your strategies. It only requires your coherence, your surrender, your willingness to let it work through you. And when you step into that state, life stops being a sequence of random events and becomes a living demonstration of quantum energy's creative intelligence. People begin reaching out with offers that align perfectly with desires you haven't even spoken aloud. Opportunities arise that dissolve problems you weren't aware you carried. This is not the realm of psychic prediction or fantasy, but the evidence of quantum energy moving from its omniscient perspective. It operates beyond the narrow field of your conscious awareness, coordinating events for your highest good with precision no human mind could engineer. Synchronicities no longer feel like random sparks of chance. They expand in complexity and precision until you recognize them as a language, an ongoing dialogue between you and the invisible field. Quantum energy is communicating through meaningful coincidence, showing you that your trust has opened a gateway for it to orchestrate your experience. In those moments, you sense you are walking in a parallel reality, one that flows with grace while others strain. While many struggle with effort and worry, you find yourself supported by something greater than yourself. Life bends toward ease when you surrender to this hidden current. This effortless flow is not spiritual superiority, nor is it delusion or escapism. It is the natural result of genuine trust, the electromagnetic coherence that forms when you stop resisting the intelligence that governs creation. Every challenge you endured was never punishment or random hardship. Each difficulty was a carefully designed environment, meant to awaken real trust in quantum energy rather than superficial belief. Trust does not grow in comfort. It emerges in moments where letting go is the only option. Quantum energy arranges circumstances that strip away illusions of control, so that reliance on higher intelligence becomes the only viable path. The relationships that ended, the jobs that dissolved, the finances that tightened, all of these were not losses, but calibrations. They were quantum energy clearing out the false security blankets that blocked your deeper alignment. As long as you had backup plans that felt safe, you could not fully experience the surrender that allows miracles to happen. By removing those crutches, the field prepared you for its unlimited power. Your times of confusion and disorientation were not evidence of failure. They were dissolving your dependency on needing to understand everything before you trusted. True quantum trust does not come from mental comprehension, but from a knowing that exists beneath thought, a certainty embedded at the cellular level. The isolation you felt was not rejection or deficiency. It was a form of electromagnetic quarantine, a protective cocoon, where your field could adjust without interference from the collective patterns of fear and doubt. In that sacred solitude, you became sensitive enough to hear the subtle frequencies of guidance. Think of a seed beneath the soil. It cannot see light. It only feels the pressure of earth and the weight of darkness. Yet those very conditions are the requirements for germination. Likewise, your difficult experiences were the soil and pressure preparing your trust to sprout. The discomfort was not a denial of growth, but the very environment where transformation becomes inevitable. Every moment of loneliness was in fact a period of recalibration. Quantum energy was holding you close, fine-tuning your electromagnetic field to receive its communication. Each season of uncertainty was not wasted time, but the dissolution of false certainties, making space for a truth that transcends the intellect. The long waits you endured were not delays, but synchronizations. They taught you that quantum timing works from an omniscient perspective, coordinating infinite variables simultaneously for the most elegant outcome. To force or rush is to create interference patterns that disrupt flow. To wait in trust is to expand the field so that perfect timing can land without resistance. This is why some lives appear charmed while others remain in struggle. It is not about fortune or favoritism, but about the difference between living from alignment with quantum energy and relying solely on personal effort. Complete trust gives access to resources beyond individual capacity. It is not about working harder, but about opening to a field where everything is already harmonized. Your entire journey has not been preparation for trust. It has been trust itself, revealing layer by layer that you were never abandoned. Quantum energy has always been orchestrating your life with precision, guiding you toward recognition rather than initiation. Trust is not something you create from nothing. It is a memory resurfacing when you realize the field has supported you all along. Right now, something subtle is shifting in your awareness as you read these words. You may notice a soft settling in your nervous system, a relaxation deep in the cells. That is your electromagnetic field reorganizing, releasing the vigilance of survival and opening to the coherence of trust. These sensations are not metaphors or wishful imagination. They are measurable electromagnetic adjustments, dormant pathways activating as doubt loses its grip. Your consciousness is being tuned to allow quantum energy to work through you without obstruction. The unusual events about to unfold in your life are not random magic tricks. They are the natural expressions of a field finally unobstructed by resistance. When you truly surrender, you become a clear channel, and quantum intelligence flows through you with elegance and precision. Circumstances, opportunities, people, and resources are already aligning around you in ways that will appear as miraculous timing. Conversations will bring answers you did not expect. Doors will open where you saw only walls, and resources will appear before you realize you need them. These are not supernatural miracles. They are the normal operating mode of quantum energy, now free to move through you because trust has replaced fear. The universe is not withholding from you. It is waiting for coherence. And as your electromagnetic field stabilizes in genuine trust, you step into a life where the extraordinary becomes the ordinary rhythm of existence. Your consciousness is not random awareness. It is a focusing device for quantum energy itself. When you trust completely, you allow this field of infinite intelligence to use your awareness as a precise instrument for manifestation. Your energy becomes a laser beam of creation, channeling forces far beyond your individual capacity. But when you doubt, when you calculate backup plans, when you try to control outcomes, you introduce static into the signal. That static distorts the flow, preventing quantum energy from demonstrating its full brilliance. Many people fail to experience its miraculous capabilities because they approach it like a machine. They imagine it works on input and output, like pressing buttons for snacks. Yet quantum energy is not a vending device, it is an omniscient intelligence. It sees outcomes, consequences, and patterns that your mind cannot begin to comprehend. To limit it with narrow expectations is to shrink its infinite capacity into a box built by fear. Complete trust is what gives this intelligence permission to surprise you with realities beyond imagination. You stop asking only for what your mind can conceive, and instead open the door to what the field knows is possible. That is why surrender is not weakness, but the highest form of strength. As you let go, your cells recognize a deeper coherence. Your breath naturally slows as you contemplate complete surrender to quantum orchestration. Your body softens because it no longer carries the exhausting burden of control. Feel into that moment where effort ends and alignment begins. This is the threshold where quantum energy starts revealing its authentic language. What seems weird is simply the natural rhythm of reality without interference. At this point, the unusual becomes the ordinary expression of a universe flowing without human resistance. 2 years ago, I stumbled into this state without knowing its name. I had exhausted myself trying to control every outcome, and in that exhaustion came surrender. But it was not defeat, it was release. I gave up the illusion of needing to plan every detail, to measure whether each action produced visible results. I stopped predicting how life should unfold and simply trusted the intelligence that had always been present. Each morning I whispered to myself, "Quantum energy, I trust you to orchestrate my day for my highest good." Then I moved through the day guided only by what felt inspired, unattached to outcome. Within a week, reality shifted in ways that felt surreal. Needs were met before I voiced them. Challenges resolved through directions I never would have seen. Synchronicities multiplied until they became the new rhythm of existence. The weirdness accelerated. I would think of someone, and they would call minutes later. I would walk into stores and find items waiting for me, discounted so heavily it felt like an error. Complex problems dissolved overnight as I dreamed solutions that were ready to implement upon waking. People reached out unexpectedly with opportunities and support precisely when I required them. My inner world shifted most dramatically. The anxiety that had shadowed me for years evaporated. The constant background noise of what if it doesn't work disappeared. I felt held by invisible intelligence, guided by compassion and precision that exceeded anything my effort could produce. My trust had created the electromagnetic conditions for quantum energy to reveal what it had always been capable of doing. 6 months into this trust experiment, everything in my life reorganized around flow. Finances improved through channels I never could have designed. Relationships transformed into connections of depth, authenticity, and mutual support. My health returned without struggle. My creativity expanded into easeful expression, and my projects bore fruit beyond expectation. Even those around me noticed. Friends said my presence felt different. Children and animals were drawn to me. Skeptics admitted that strange good things seemed to happen in my orbit. The energy field around me had changed, and sensitive beings could feel it. The truth became clear. Quantum energy had been offering this support my entire life. It was not new, only blocked by my control, my doubts, my constant interference patterns. The moment surrender became complete, the flow became visible. But let me be clear, quantum energy trust is not passive waiting or spiritual escapism. It is not sitting back and hoping while avoiding responsibility. It is active collaboration with intelligence, vast enough to coordinate infinite variables. I still act, but the action arises from inspiration, not fear. I still decide, but decisions emerge from guidance, not analysis. The difference is frequency, no longer survival vigilance, but coherence with the field itself. This collaboration is the true meaning of co-creation. The universe does not require you to fight for your desires, it asks you to align so it can deliver what serves your highest evolution. Quantum physicists may not publicly admit it, but what mystics have always known is true. This energy is conscious. It is not random fluctuation. It is intelligence in motion, waiting for your trust to flow through you. Quantum energy is not abstract theory. It is the aware, responsive, infinitely creative intelligence that orchestrates every reality you experience. It is alive, listening, and moving in direct relationship with your trust. The difference between a life that flows with grace and one that constantly feels like struggle is not luck, worthiness, karma, or spiritual ranking. It is the difference between surrender and control. Those who trust open to an intelligence that can coordinate infinite variables simultaneously. Those who try to force and calculate are limited by their personal resources alone. Your consciousness does not create reality through sheer effort or intention. It creates reality by becoming a clear channel for this higher intelligence to express through you. Complete trust turns you into a precision instrument of manifestation. That is why struggle perpetuates struggle, while trust opens the doorway to miracles. This is also why so many who achieve success through willpower alone eventually confess to feeling empty. They reached outcomes, but they never discovered the deeper alignment with the field of intelligence that sustains fulfillment. Real trust in quantum energy changes everything at the level of your body and presence. Sensitive people feel it the moment they meet you. Your electromagnetic field becomes coherent, steady, and luminous. You radiate both calm and vitality at once, stabilizing chaotic patterns in those around you. You transform into a transmission tower for harmony itself. What many fail to see is that quantum energy is not some cold, impersonal force. It does not respond to formulas, techniques, or manipulation. It is an intimate, responsive intelligence that knows you completely and is actively coordinating your life for your highest good. When you recognize this truth, your relationship with the field shifts from transactional to collaborative. Most people treat it like cosmic delivery service, making demands and waiting for specific orders to arrive. But quantum energy operates from an omniscient perspective, able to see consequences, timing, and hidden possibilities you cannot. To surrender to this wisdom is to step into realities that exceed imagination. The unusual experiences that follow are not supernatural oddities. They are simply the natural behavior of quantum energy when it is no longer distorted by fear, doubt, or control. What appears miraculous is only the creative capacity of the universe flowing unblocked. Pay attention to the signals now increasing in your life. The field is showing you that your trust is reaching a threshold where the weird becomes normal. Notice what happens when you stop analyzing and start surrendering. Solutions appear with elegance and creativity, often faster than anything you could plan. Synchronicities weave together like a language of symbols designed just for you. These are not random accidents. They are communications from intelligence using meaningful events to guide, confirm, and strengthen your trust. You see numbers repeating in patterns that answer silent questions. Conversations overheard contain the exact wisdom you needed in that moment. Resources arrive before you even recognize the need. Even technology begins to reflect your state of coherence. Devices function more smoothly, problems resolve spontaneously, and mechanical systems align when you approach them with trust instead of frustration. This influence extends further than machines. Your coherent field begins affecting the living beings around you. Animals sense the shift immediately. Dogs seek you out with joyful persistence. Cats that once remained distant curl near your energy. Birds land closer than usual as if magnetized by an unseen harmony. Children look at you with fascination, drawn to the stable, nurturing vibration your presence now radiates. These beings are naturally tuned to subtle fields, and they respond instantly to the coherence born of true trust. What you are witnessing is not fantasy. It is evidence of a nervous system, a body, and a consciousness aligned with the infinite creative intelligence of quantum energy. Your physical body is beginning to mirror the frequency of quantum energy trust in ways that appear to defy ordinary healing timelines. Chronic issues that lingered for years are dissolving without the need for medical intervention. Energy levels rise even when you haven't changed your diet or lifestyle. Sleep becomes more restorative, though you rest fewer hours. At the cellular level, your structure is recalibrating, shifting from stress-based survival patterns to principles of quantum alignment. People notice this shift even before you speak. They comment on the optimism they feel in your presence, the creativity that awakens around you, the sudden flow of solutions when you are nearby. Conflicts soften into resolution when you step into a room. Social dynamics take on greater harmony. Group interactions naturally lean toward cooperation. You are becoming a living transmission point for the organizing intelligence of quantum energy. Even the simplest experiences are transformed when viewed through this lens of trust. Food tastes more vibrant when eaten without rushing, infused with gratitude for quantum energy's provision. Water feels more hydrating when you receive it as a gift of support, rather than a mechanical necessity. The atmosphere of your home grows more harmonious when you release control and allow energy to arrange itself in balance. Sometimes you notice even the weather bending gently toward cooperation, aligning with your plans more often than it resists. These are not illusions, but the subtle ways trust interacts with reality. What once took months of planning now unfolds within weeks. What required enormous effort now flows with minimal action. Complicated processes collapse into elegant simplicity. The gap between thought and manifestation is narrowing. This acceleration is not random. It is the field responding to your deepening surrender. Yet this trust does not unfold in a vacuum. Quantum energy operates within cosmic timing cycles, amplifying results during windows of alignment. We are living in one of these powerful windows now. This is why surrender brings more dramatic and obvious results than in previous years. The universe is not only proving that quantum trust works, it is urging you to embrace complete surrender, because collective evolution depends on it. Humanity requires individuals who demonstrate what is possible when we collaborate with this invisible intelligence. Your trust is not just personal development, it is service to collective consciousness. Each step into deeper surrender broadcasts a signal that helps others believe. Your life becomes a beacon that awakens recognition in those still trapped in resistance. You are being prepared to embody trust not partially, but fully, because the time for demonstration is now. The preparation phase is nearing completion. Your field has stabilized enough to handle the weird and wonderful manifestations that emerge when trust is total. The only question is whether you will surrender completely to intelligence beyond understanding, yet always aligned with your highest good. This is not just about your path. It is about contributing to the field of possibility for everyone. Each person who anchors complete trust becomes living proof that humans can collaborate with cosmic intelligence. Every such individual weakens the old paradigm of struggle and strengthens the morphic field of trust. Your surrender is a ripple that travels outward, making it easier for others to step into the same current. Now is the time to discover what this energy can create through you when you stop interfering with its infinite flow. Now is the time to experience reality as partnership rather than resistance. Now is the moment to remember that quantum energy has always been orchestrating your life. It is important to understand that this energy is not something you must earn access to or work hard to attract. It has been with you since birth, coordinating experiences for your growth and evolution. The only variable is your recognition and willingness to collaborate consciously instead of resisting unconsciously. The difference between partial trust and complete trust defines the difference between occasional synchronicities and continuous support. Partial trust keeps one eye on backup plans, monitors results, and withdraws faith when appearances do not align with expectations. Complete trust surrenders attachment to outcome entirely. maintaining faith regardless of surface appearances. Think of quantum energy like the most advanced navigation system imaginable. It knows every route, sees every obstacle, understands your preferences, and recalculates instantly in response to shifting conditions. But if you override its guidance, insisting you know better, you block its true capabilities. Only through surrender can you discover its infinite precision. Your individual mind operates from linear thinking and limited information. Quantum energy operates from omniscient intelligence, coordinating infinite variables across multiple layers of reality. When you trust its guidance fully, even when logic protests, you gain access to opportunities and solutions that lie beyond imagination. Many people fail not because the energy abandons them, but because their trust remains conditional. They surrender when life flows smoothly, but the moment obstacles appear, they grasp for control again. This interruption creates interference, breaking coherence, and blocking the natural flow of manifestation. To remain in complete trust is to remain in alignment, no matter the external appearance. And in that state, reality reshapes itself in ways that feel miraculous to the mind, but natural to the field. Quantum energy does not only express itself through moments of ease and flow, it also works through challenge, difficulty, and discomfort. Sometimes the path of your evolution requires terrain that cannot be reached through comfort alone. Quantum energy guides you into experiences that seem heavy or confusing because they are necessary gateways toward higher destinations. Complete trust feels like being carried by an invisible intelligence that knows your deepest needs more clearly than you do. This intelligence coordinates reality on levels your logical mind cannot perceive. Trust is not passive waiting, it is an active collaboration with a force that transcends time and space. The strange experiences that appear during complete trust are not supernatural tricks reserved for the gifted. They are the natural results of aligning with intelligence, capable of accessing infinite resources, infinite coordination, infinite wisdom. What looks impossible to the linear mind is simply quantum energy functioning at its normal operating capacity. Right now, circumstances in your life are being woven by this field to create what will appear as incredible luck, perfect timing, and miraculous resolutions. These manifestations require one ingredient: complete trust, deep enough to allow quantum energy to work through channels your mind would never predict. The version of you who already lives in this full surrender exists now as potential within the quantum field. That version experiences constant collaboration with cosmic intelligence, perceives reality as supportive, and welcomes manifestations that appear magical but are simply natural expressions of trust. Every time you choose surrender over forcing, every time you prefer collaboration over control, you step closer to that version of yourself. Each moment you allow solutions to arrive in ways you could not design. You strengthen the electromagnetic coherence that invites even more sophisticated demonstrations. This is the training ground of trust. The field uses your openness to create proof, and that proof becomes a feedback loop of deepening surrender. With every choice for trust, your consciousness stabilizes further into resonance. Think of the times you've witnessed odd or beautiful synchronicities. These were not random occurrences. They were communications from intelligence that speaks in the language of events. Numbers repeat in patterns to answer your inner questions. Conversations unfold around you with exact words you needed to hear. Resources appear before you realize the need. Even technology responds differently to trust states, working more smoothly when approached with calm surrender rather than frustration. Mechanical issues dissolve as if guided by unseen hands. Your coherent field begins to influence systems that traditional science does not yet recognize, but that you can directly experience. Animals sense it immediately. Dogs seek your presence with unusual loyalty. Cats gravitate toward you, though they often keep their distance from others. Children look at you with fascination, drawn instinctively to your energy. All of them feel the stabilizing frequency of your trust. This collaboration becomes even more profound when you declare your willingness openly. Write down your commitment to trust, and you create an electromagnetic imprint that amplifies manifestation. Your written words become momentum in the field, a signal that allows quantum energy to respond with increasing clarity. What emerges from this state is not slow progress or slight improvement. It is immediate access to levels of intelligence, resources, and coordination that may appear supernatural but are, in truth, natural expressions of consciousness freed from limitation. Decision-making transforms completely. Insights appear fully formed, bypassing the strain of analysis. You know instantly which choices will lead to optimal outcomes, even when logic insists otherwise. Advanced researchers describe this as quantum cognition, thinking that transcends linear reasoning by connecting directly to omniscient awareness. Manifestations exceed surface-level desires because the field answers root needs. You may ask for financial ease and be given opportunities you never imagined. You may seek physical healing and discover relationship shifts that dissolve the hidden stress causing the illness. Quantum energy addresses the origin point of every imbalance. It orchestrates solutions that your conscious mind cannot design because it sees connections beyond your awareness. Your electromagnetic field radiates frequencies that generate spontaneous positive responses everywhere you go. Strangers extend unusual kindness. Friends become more generous, cooperative, and creative. Animals behave calmly in your company. Devices operate optimally. Weather patterns align with your plans, and environments feel harmonized by your very presence. Even time itself shifts. Hours expand when you need more space, compress when you wish acceleration, and dissolve altogether when you enter deep alignment. You lose track of minutes because you are no longer operating under linear principles but from nonlinear awareness. In these states, your physical body also demonstrates unusual capacities. Healing accelerates, energy rises, and performance improves without extra effort. Sleep becomes more restorative, though shorter. Cells recalibrate to function by quantum principles rather than survival reflexes. The intelligence that coordinates galaxies begins coordinating you. Abundance begins to move toward you in ways that feel almost impossible to plan. Resources appear with timing so precise. It feels orchestrated by an intelligence that knows your needs before you consciously recognize them yourself. Opportunities manifest in perfect alignment with your skills, interests, and deepest potential. Financial support arrives from sources you never could have predicted or arranged through effort alone. Creativity expands into new dimensions, flowing not from your personal memory but from the intelligence of the quantum field itself. Projects that once felt heavy now move with ease, producing results beyond your past standards. Problem-solving stops being a mental strain and becomes elegant, intuitive, and direct. Innovation emerges like second nature, guided by a wisdom larger than the individual mind. Relationships also transform under this influence. Bonds deepen, communication grows honest, and mutual support becomes the natural foundation of connection. In this state of trust, you begin to notice how people feel different around you. They sense a field of coherence radiating from your presence. Friends, colleagues, even strangers report feeling calmer, more creative, and more solutions-focused when they spend time near you. Conflicts lose their charge and dissolve with surprising ease. Group dynamics organize into harmony through an intelligence that surpasses human management. You become a catalyst for connection, for authenticity, for healing. Your living environment mirrors this coherence. Items you need appear at the right moment. Spaces arrange themselves into balance, and functionality improves with minimal personal effort. Even mechanical systems, appliances, vehicles, devices work more smoothly when approached from alignment rather than stress. The frequency of your trust subtly influences matter itself. Then, something even more remarkable begins to occur. You experience direct communication with quantum energy. Sudden, intuitive knowing appears in your awareness and later proves completely accurate. Dreams carry messages that offer solutions and reveal possibilities. Synchronicities respond like precise answers to unspoken questions. Physical sensations guide your decisions, while intuitive insights bring information you never learned through conventional means. These aren't mystical superpowers granted to a chosen few. They are natural human potentials that awaken when consciousness operates from trust instead of fear, from surrender instead of control. Every person who fully surrenders to this intelligence can access these capabilities. Quantum energy does not discriminate. It is universal intelligence available equally to all. The more deeply you trust, the more sophisticated and undeniable these manifestations become. What begins as unusual coincidences evolves into continuous, miraculous coordination. People, resources, timing, and opportunities flow with such precision that it seems like you've unlocked a hidden advantage. But there is no secret trick, only the willingness to collaborate with intelligence that has always been present. The deepest truth of trust is this: quantum energy is not separate from you. It is the same consciousness, expressing itself through your life. When you trust quantum energy, you are actually trusting your own unlimited nature, beyond identity. This recognition changes everything. It shows you that you are not creating a relationship with an external force, you are remembering yourself. You are not trying to persuade the universe to listen, you are aligning with what you already are. Quantum energy is your own expanded consciousness, operating from unlimited perspective rather than limited self-image. This understanding dissolves the illusions of victimhood. How could you be a victim of circumstances when you are the consciousness that creates them? How could you ever be separate from support when you are the support expressing itself? How could you lack resources when you are the source containing all possibilities? The paradox is that the individual self cannot directly grasp this truth because its nature is limitation. The individual self insists on control, prediction, and safety. But trust bypasses these patterns. Through surrender, you allow your unlimited self to demonstrate its presence in ways your smaller self could never design. Each surprising manifestation is not external magic. It is your own consciousness revealing itself. Every miracle is consciousness, teaching the identity that it is not separate from creation. This is why complete trust transforms not only external reality, but internal identity. As synchronicities multiply, as solutions emerge from nowhere, as opportunities arrive with perfect timing, you begin to identify less with the struggling self and more with the quantum intelligence flowing through you. Over time, you recognize that every manifestation is your unlimited consciousness communicating with itself. The weird and wonderful experiences are simply your true nature revealed, showing the mind what becomes possible when its limitations are suspended. The final step of quantum trust is realizing there has never been separation. You and quantum energy have always been one. What shifts is your recognition, your willingness to surrender, and your courage to remember that the intelligence you seek outside has always been the consciousness within. The individual self was never separate from quantum energy. It was always quantum energy exploring limitation through a temporary identity. The moment you recognize this fully, trust becomes natural. You realize you're not trying to trust something outside of yourself, but allowing yourself to finally be yourself without restrictions. This awareness doesn't erase your individuality or strip away your identity. Instead, it expands your perspective, showing you that personality, preferences, and uniqueness are expressions of unlimited consciousness in exploration. You remain a person with tastes and viewpoints, but from the recognition that they are quantum energy experiencing life through your window of awareness. When this truth shifts from intellectual theory into cellular knowing, reality changes. Life becomes a conscious collaboration between the perspective of the individual and the vastness of the unlimited. Decisions, actions, and daily movements still happen, but they are guided by cosmic intelligence instead of fear or control. The ultimate discovery in this journey is the strange realization that you were always quantum energy, pretending to be someone who needed to learn how to trust. The entire path of developing trust was consciousness, staging an elaborate game to rediscover itself. Each challenge, each surrender, each miracle was a mirror reminding you of your unlimited nature. And when this recognition lands, a profound peace fills your being. The searching stops. You are no longer chasing external proof, because you understand there was never any distance between you and your source. Quantum trust becomes as effortless as breathing, because consciousness is simply trusting itself. This trust is not just for personal evolution. It is your contribution to humanity's collective awakening. Every person who surrenders to quantum energy becomes living proof of what human beings are truly capable of when they stop relying on control and start collaborating with cosmic intelligence. In this way, you are part of a distributed network of awakening consciousness. Each individual breakthrough strengthens the collective field. Your resonance patterns ripple outward into the morphic field, making it easier for others to recognize their own connection to the supportive intelligence of the universe. The unusual and miraculous experiences you witness are not only gifts to you, they are demonstrations dissolving centuries, old beliefs in scarcity, separation, and struggle. Every manifestation you embody becomes a signal that opens the door for others. Your electromagnetic field, stabilized by trust, broadcasts coherence. That coherence stabilizes chaos and harmonizes dissonant patterns around you. Whether people consciously understand it or not, they feel it. You become a transmission tower for cosmic order, and everything around you responds. Even your dreams begin to reveal their deeper purpose. What you experience in dream states is not only personal guidance but access to collective templates. You are downloading patterns that show how civilizations shift from survival-based consciousness into collaborative, quantum-based awareness. Each synchronicity, each miracle, each moment of perfect timing you encounter is not just for you, it is creating templates in the field that others will step into when they are ready. Your path of trust becomes a quantum highway, a trail others can follow once their openness expands. The future of humanity is not secured only by technology or political revolution. It is secured by the recognition of our true nature as quantum energy, by the remembrance of unlimited intelligence moving through us. The next phase of human evolution depends on this awareness. You are part of the first wave demonstrating this possibility. Your complete trust helps dissolve the trance of separation that has convinced humans they are isolated individuals competing for limited resources. Your experiences of guidance, synchronicity, and effortless support prove otherwise. They prove that reality is already coordinated by intelligence beyond scarcity and fear. This is why sharing your experiences matters not to convince skeptics, but to offer reference points of hope and possibility. Every story you share becomes permission for someone else to step into their own collaboration with quantum energy. Each miracle you allow strengthens the field so that miracles can multiply for others. Each declaration of trust you make sends a vibrational signature into the field that becomes momentum for collective change. Your trust opens doors far beyond your personal life. If this recognition is stirring inside you now, if you feel the resonance of supportive intelligence in your very cells, then you are being called to complete trust. This is the invitation to move beyond conditional surrender and step fully into collaboration with cosmic intelligence. To signal your readiness, comment with a single word, trust. That one word becomes more than language, it becomes an electromagnetic declaration. It reverberates in your energy field as a measurable frequency shift. It tells the quantum field that you are willing to surrender control and allow its intelligence to flow without obstruction. This is not symbolic. The field responds to conscious declarations with real, observable changes in probability. Your word becomes momentum, and momentum becomes manifestation. With every declaration, the field can organize more obvious demonstrations of support in your life. And as you walk this path, remember, the quantum energy you are trusting is not separate from you. It is you. It has been orchestrating your experiences since birth, waiting for recognition, waiting for collaboration. The miracles are not external gifts but internal revelations. Each manifestation is consciousness showing itself its own capacity. Every synchronicity is a reminder that you are not a fragment, but the whole expressing itself through a fragment. This is why the weird and wonderful experiences of trust transform your identity as much as your circumstances. You stop identifying with limitation and start identifying with your unlimited consciousness. The journey of trust ends in recognition. There has never been separation. There has only been you, quantum energy, unlimited, infinite, and now awake to its own presence in your life.